I think we need to update our stereotypes here in America. I feel like we are still stuck in the Stone Age when it comes to stereotypes. I feel like we're still stuck on stuff like, Jews are cheap and a mailman crazy. And I think we need to update it. And it all doesn't have to be racial, right? Like one, for example, is weed smokers have good skin. It's just something I noticed. Another one is white babies don't get cute till they turn 3. It's just something I noticed. So I've been doing this comedy thing for a minute, and I see a lot of comedians talk about watching porn, but nobody talks about erotica. Like, I don't know if anybody here reads erotica. It's cool if you do. I don't. Can't get into it. It's just something about reading and beating off at the same time I just can't do. Like you're reading and beating off and then the book starts shaking. It's just the whole thing. Plus, what happens if you're reading and beating off and you get to a word you don't know? Do you just use context clues at that point, or do you just ask Siri and you hope you said it right? I'm getting older, so I'm learning things I didn't expect to learn, particularly about doctors. Like, I've learned something about some doctors who specialize, like orthopedists. I just learned that some orthopedists will only see you for one body part at a time. Like, I fell off of a scooter, and I fell on my wrist and my knee. And I went online and made an appointment with the orthopedist, and they called me back and said, pick a part. Pick which part you want us to look at. And I was like, shit, man, I don't know, knee, right? But then I go to the appointment, and I keep trying to squeeze the wrist into the conversation. Like, even during the x-ray, I'm bending over trying to get the wrist in frame. It's like, help me. Help me. It's just getting older in general. Like, I learned that my drinking habits are just naturally changing, but I also learned that my drinking regrets are changing. Because when I was younger, I would do things like get drunk and cheat on my girlfriend. Now that I'm older, I get drunk and cheat on my diet. And it hurts way worse. Way worse to cheat on your diet. You can cheat on your girlfriend and possibly talk your way out of it, but you cheat on your diet, you just gotta call out from work. Just like, I'm not gonna make it, I had cheese last night, There's no way I'm coming. I think watching white people get arrested is the black man's pumpkin spice latte. Because we both have the same reactions, like, this is refreshing. And I wish it was around all year, I have 2 jobs. I have like a day job, but I also do this at night. And I have a degree in computer science, but sometimes I wish I would have got a degree in biology so I could have been racist under the guise of medicine. Like, I think that's why doctors make you feel like they're forming in the waiting room, so they know what you got before they see you. Like, oh, he's black, well, it must be heart disease, or high blood pressure, sickle cell, stroke, diabetes, Ebola, right? Well, like, oh, he's white, anxiety. Man, we get the horrible diseases. And all of the diseases, you get prescribed drugs you won't want to take recreational. Like all the quote-unquote white diseases, get all the fun drugs like oxycodone, Try taking sickle cell medication when you don't have sickle cell. You will get sickle cell. Plus, sometimes I question the whole, like, only white people get this and only black people get that. I feel like that comes from sources of information written back when it was okay to be racist. Right? It's the same way black people still say white people can't dance, even though there's been tons of movies that prove otherwise. Like Step Up, Step Up 2, Step Up 3D, Step Up Revolution, Step Up All In, and Grease, nigga, I don't know. I just moved here like maybe 4 years ago, and I didn't realize how expensive it was to stay here. Touchdown, it immediately changed my taste in women once I saw the rent. Because before moving here, I used to want a woman with big breasts and no children. But after about 6 weeks, I just wanted you to have a washer and dryer. I mean, the sexiest thing a woman could do after a certain point, just come up to me and just start whispering her amenities in my ear. It's like a toaster oven or printer, a hot water, Wi-Fi, all the stuff that I hold dear. All the stuff I hold dear. I'm from Georgia. I'm a Georgia native. And I went back home not too long ago, and we did like a mass cleaning, and I found some of my old toys. And toys is a strong word because sometimes we got some rando toys, right? Just stuff you just had to deal with. But meanwhile, across town, my cousin had name brand stuff. Like he had Woody from Toy Story. And to this day, I hate Woody. Fuck Woody. Woody looked like he'll be racist anyway, you know? Woody looks like if you pull the string and say, reach for the sky, boy. There's a coon in my, I don't know, whatever. That's too much. It's too much. I've recently been trying to convince my black coworkers that I am also black. I don't know what it is, man. They saw me and assumed I was mixed, and I'm not. I'm just standard black, but it's like, so black people go as far to just assign you a nationality. Like, I remember me and my girlfriend first got together. The morning after we slept together, she was like, I ain't never been with an Ethiopian before. And I was like, you still haven't. Still haven't. Standard nigga, that is what I am. That is what I am. And what's wild is that I use the N-word sometimes in my stand-up. And I was talking to a white comedian friend of mine about using that word on stage. And out of nowhere, he was like, I don't say it at home. And I was like, I don't really care if you say it at home, man. It doesn't matter if nobody hears it, right? Because I'm pretty sure that when a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, it says nigga. I don't know, man. I'm dating now, in a new relationship. So I got to get used to hearing hypotheticals again. I got to get very used to them. Sometimes I'm just not ready. I remember I had a girlfriend once ask me if she died and came back as a cat, would I take her in as a pet? And I always engage, and I'm like, how am I supposed to know it's you? And she's like, you're supposed to be able to look me in my cat face and tell it's me. And I was like, that's worse. That means that I am walking around town after you die, potentially attracted to a cat. Hopefully it doesn't happen around people or friends, you know. They see me staring at this cat and they're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm not necessarily sure. But for some reason, I think I want to sleep with that cat.